Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Jordan, Jules, and Just Read It. I'm Jordan, that's Jules, and we're just reading today. Jules, what do we got lined up for the people today?
See how he always overshines me? I tried to
Overshines you?
I'm getting a call from Haley.
This is staying in.
Hey, Hale, you're live.
You're live on Jordan, Jules, and Just Read It, the podcast. Haley, listen, caller, how are you doing tonight? We are doing absolutely fantastic. We are actually currently reading some Am I the A-hole stories. Would you like to read a story for us?
Sure.
All right, in 10 words or less, tell us a story.
Am I the asshole for saying that my fiance is starting to look too greasy and maybe he should cut back on what he eats?
Damn! You don't even have to go into the story. That's good enough. Holy moly, Jesus Christ. All right, now you can get on your phone call with Jules.
Well, thank you, Haley, for calling in. We love you. Hey, I'll give you a call back later, okay? Oh, I love her. 10 out of 10, sister. Anyway, she was trying. They was trying.
Dude, I felt so bad.
When you said you put her on the spot.
I know. Well, hey, if one of my friends were to randomly call me.
No, for real. What do we have in store today, Jordan? Since I'm starting off, you can introduce it.
Some AITA_WIBTA_public.
And this is Would I Be the A-hole?
Yes. So.
Which is weird because the story, at least the first one, had already happened, so it's not like they're asking, would I be the a-hole? I don't know. Anyway, I'll start us off.
Yes, Jules, please.
This is posted by nerd_rat, and it was posted 23 days ago. Pretty fresh. Am I the, and this hits close to home for me, that's why I wanted to read it.
Oh boy.
Am I the a-hole for not tipping a waitress on a $300 plus tab?
Nope, you're good. I'm just messing with you guys. I was just rage baiting Jules.
0 out of 10 rage bait.
Okay.
Am I the a-hole for not tipping a waitress on a $300 plus tab? The other day, my friend's girlfriend broke up with him, so the boys and I decided to take him to the club to cheer him up. I was the last to arrive, and they had already gotten a table and were all drinking alcohol. When the waitress came up to me and asked what I wanted to drink, I couldn't have alcohol because of the medicine I'm on, so I ordered a Sprite. She gave me an awkward smile and said, okay. 10 minutes went by, and I still hadn't received my Sprite. However, she came back and asked my friends at the same table if they wanted another round. They all said yes, and then they ordered shots as well. I reminded her about the Sprite, and she nodded and left. She then brought all the alcohol and shots back out for my friends, but still no Sprite. About 10 to 20 minutes later, she returned and asked how we were doing. Everyone said fine, and I said I still hadn't gotten my Sprite. She nodded again, but didn't even walk back to the bar. Instead, she started talking to another girl. After waiting an additional 10 minutes or so, I decided to go to the bar myself and get a Sprite and a water. I paid the bartender, left the tip, and went back to the table. We hung out for another few hours, my friends drinking a lot of alcohol and eating hors d'oeuvres. When we were ready to leave, she brought our checks and gave me one for the Sprite that she never brought. I told her, you never gave me the Sprite. I got it from the bar. She responded, oh, the bar transferred it to me. And I replied, no, I paid the bar. She said okay and took the check away. I don't know why I was so upset about the Sprite. It was just a Sprite. But my friends were also upset that I was being treated that way. So they all paid their tabs, left no tip, and wrote on the checks, you should have brought my friend a Sprite. I think it's messed up to not leave tips, and I would have told them not to do it if they had let me know in advance, because people rely on that money for their livelihood. But I also don't like being discriminated against because I can't drink alcohol due to my medications. Do you think we were being a-holes for not leaving a tip? You know, when I do my research on these stories, I typically skim through them so I can give a reaction in, like, real time. And I didn't read to the end of that one. That's hard because...
Well, put us through the shoes of a server. Like, what could have been happening to where she wouldn't have gotten the Sprite? Do you think that was more like a personal thing, or do you think like...
Oh, I mean, it was definitely a personal thing. Most servers are at least the ones that I work with are very, very polite. You ask for, if a paying customer comes in and asks for a Sprite, you get them a Sprite. Like, and if the person's looking at it as to like, yeah, the Sprite's like $3.75 and drinks are probably like $10 to $15, it's like, oh, like I don't care about this person. Like I'm not gonna like it. It almost takes more effort to not get
the
it.
Sprite
Like
than
it's
to
just
get
weird.
it.
Just
Yeah.
give them the Sprite. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you have all these other people paying for like rounds of drinks and
Well,
stuff. You're
as
gonna
we
get
see,
money.
300 plus tabs.
No, but that's hard because she did. No matter, she did discriminate against this guy, it sounds like, for whatever reason. She's just being an a-hole. That's difficult, though, because she did, not talking about the other guy, she did cater to all these other people and seemingly gave
It's not
good
like she
service.
was absent.
Right. So you're kind of bringing in, like, a personal vendetta, but then, like, I feel bad for OP because even OP, like, it wasn't even his doing. His friends did it for him.
Yeah.
And he actually sounded like pretty like apologetic about it.
Yeah, so my thought process through this was I was seeing myself in the shoes. Like, let's say I go out to the bar with my friends and I order, I'm a personal fan of Mountain Dew. So I order myself a Mountain Dew and like, I just don't get it. Like, if I had never gotten it, I'd do the same thing. I'd be like, look, you never gave it to me. Like, just, I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, and that's kind of, speaking of that, it's kind of crazy she tried to
Still
like,
charge him for it?
Yeah, for like how much she like seemingly didn't care about it because it was only a Sprite, to go to it to the extent of like knowing
Still
that you
writing
didn't,
a check for it.
Yeah, and even doubling down after he was like, no, like I got it from the bar, and she was like, oh, it transferred to me. He was like, no, I closed it out. Like that's like $3.50. So if she was that concerned about it, why didn't she just get him the Sprite? It's weird.
Yeah. OP, you're not the a-hole.
Not at all.
Your friends,
a little bit of the a-hole.
I agree with, like, you know, people live off of tips. So maybe not like 20%. I standard 20. I standard 20%. But like if it was okay, so in my mind, I'm still old-fashioned. So it's either 10, 15, or 20. Even though now I'm pretty sure restaurants are like 20, 22, 24% tips.
Mine's 18, 20, 25, something like that.
Yeah, but anywho, that scale has been moving up. But in my eyes, it's either like 10, 15, or 20. So I would have done a 10% tip. If it was me, like if I had gotten food and no drink or just something like that, or service was horrible, like, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to be there in the moment to be able to decide what it was. But I definitely would not leave no tip. Because once again, people live off of this and I just feel too bad.
Well, we do. Like a lot of people, that's why I tell Jordan and my friends all the time, a lot of people don't realize that we do live off of those tip wages. Like, we don't get paid by the restaurant. No matter, and some people are like, oh, it's not my responsibility that the restaurant doesn't pay me. But like, I'm like, you're going to an industry that's the way that it is set up. So if you cannot afford to tip, you don't go out to a restaurant. Like, you don't have someone serve you. Get takeout. Yep. Like, that irritates me. It's like, it's not our fault that it's set up that way. It's our livelihood.
Yeah. Like most waiters and waitresses I know make $2.50 an hour.
And that gets taxed out.
Yeah, with tips on top.
Yeah.
But the $2.50 gets taxed.
It's like nothing. But that's really difficult because, like I said, first of all, it wasn't OP's doing. His friends did it for him. But then that also kind of goes into, like, we don't have enough information. Like, was she kind of a jerk to them? Like, she might have got them the drinks in a timely manner, but what was her personality like?
Like I said, I feel like to determine how much I would have tipped, I would have had to been at that dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, no, you're definitely not the a-hole. Your friends are questionable. No tip is kind of crazy.
Morally are good, like sticking up for you, but like the execution of it.
Yeah, because she did still serve you, no matter like you putting your interaction with her aside. You know,
she was still active at your table.
Like
and
that
doesn't sound like
she
was like avoiding it, but
yeah.
But anyhow,
weird situation.
This was by YYYYYYGGGGUYG. Am I the a-hole for breaking a girl's rib? Jesus Christ. I'm a 16-year-old girl. Damn, girl-on-girl action. Not that kind. I am a 16-year-old girl and I have a feeding tube because my esophagus is partially paralyzed. The feeding tube in question goes through my nose. The reason I have it in my nose as opposed to my stomach is because it's a little easier to manage. There's a girl in my class named Jane, 14 female, and she's a bully. She would always make gestures towards her nose, and she would take her headphone cord and put it on her face like my feeding tube is for mine. Damn, that's kind of sad.
It's dark.
At first, I just ignored her. I thought she was just curious about it, which is understandable since it's different and it's normal to be weirded out by something you've never seen before. I'm okay with people asking me questions because I know it's natural to be curious. So I told her it's a feeding tube and that if she was curious, she could just ask me anything about it and I wouldn't be offended. But no, that wasn't the case. She was just being rude. One day I was talking to one of my friends at lunch when Jane came up behind me, grabbed my tube and pulled it partially out. Oh, I don't even need to explain why that's dangerous. I immediately turned around and punched her as hard as I could. I ended up giving her a black eye, then kicked her in the stomach, which broke one of her ribs. Jane was on the floor crying when a security guard walked up to us and asked what was happening. I told them what she did. I was taken to the principal's office where I was lectured about what I did was wrong. I don't really remember the lecture. The principal then said, you have two options. We can either call your grandparents, make you apologize to the girl, and suspend you for 2 days, or we can suspend both of you for 2 weeks. Or we can suspend you for 2 weeks. I said, just suspend me for the 2 weeks. When I got home, my grandparents were mad. I explained to them the situation, but I don't know what happened to Jane. I want to know if I went too far with breaking one of her ribs. I did get the tube figured out and didn't cause much damage. I just need an outside perspective on what happened. Update. I found out that Jane got expelled. I was going to clear the air. My grandparents have fully been on my side, and Jane has also been made to apologize to me.
She got what she deserved. Like, she assaulted you. Like,
Yes.
Going as far as, first of all, just like simulating, trying to make fun of you and stuff for your feeding tube was enough to punch. Honestly, in my opinion, to punch her in the ribs. But
She punched her and gave her a black eye, then proceeded to get up and kick her.
Oh.
So this is where I'm at. The punch justified.
Right.
That kick though.
I didn't realize she
Yeah, it was two separate actions. Two separate actions.
at first, I mean,
Jules likes to throw hands.
anyway, no, but as far as go to rip someone's feeding tube, like, what is mentally wrong with you up there to do that? Like, that is way too far. Yeah. So I completely spaced out. That's my apologies on her getting up to, like, kick her while she was down. That, from the principal standpoint and a self-defense standpoint, going too far.
Yeah, so
first punch justified.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Like, your first punch justified. Gut reaction, somebody grabs something and forces you, punch you. But then the act of punching you, seeing who you punched, watching them go to the ground, getting up, and then proceeding to kick them.
While they're no longer a threat.
Yeah.
That's not self-defense anymore.
And, like, I'm sure that the punishment would have been the same no matter what, but...
I don't think so. I mean, if she just, like, had that initial punch after, and explained that she did that out of a gut reaction from the girl taking out her feeding tube, that's justified. I don't think she would have got suspended for that. What?
Oh, any physical contact student could.
I mean...
Like, even if it's just a punch. Like, for example, I went to a very fight-prone school, and even if it was, like, 1 or 2 punches thrown, both kids would be gone for a week.
That's kind of stupid. Because what if, like... I mean, no, I think it should be subjective to the situation. Like, it's not fair that, like, if one kid goes up to another kid and starts pummeling on him, and the kid's punching him in self-defense to get him to stop... That's not like the other kid didn't start that. Why is he suspended? Now, if he went further than that, further than self-defense after the kid was no longer a threat to him, that's a different story. But the fact of the matter is she did. She went above and beyond and let her emotions and anger take over. She was probably above and beyond.
Above and beyond beating that. Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, anyway, no, completely justified. Punch, yes. Kick, That's me.
I mean, I just think she deserved it. But OP, I mean...
If it was more natural and she went back to like grab you again,
Oh,
then I
yeah.
would have kicked.
Oh, yeah.
But me personally, I would have just stuck to the punch and called it.
Yeah. But, I mean, emotionally, I can see why she did. I mean, she emotionally tormented her. Am I the a-hole for marrying a rich man and letting him do whatever he wants, including sleep with other women? This was posted 1 year ago, and posted by otherwise/bank/7878.
All right. Initial reaction, it all depends on how rich he is. That's what I'm just going to say.
I, 25 female, grew up poor. My mom, female 45, worked 2 jobs, and my sister, female 23, and I had to help out from a young age. Life was tough, and I swore to myself that I would do whatever it took to escape poverty. A few years ago, I met my husband, male 35. He's very wealthy, and while our relationship started with genuine attraction and love, his wealth was definitely a factor in my decision to marry him. He provided me with a lifestyle I never thought I could have, a beautiful home, luxury vacations, and financial security. We have 2 kids, a daughter, female 3, and a son, male 1. They mean the world to me, and being able to give them a life I never had growing up is incredibly important to me. But my husband sleeps with other women. He was upfront about it from the beginning, and while it hurt at first, I've come to terms with it. To him, it's purely physical, and he's always made me feel like the most important person in his life, emotionally and materially. Recently, my mom and sister found out about his infidelities. They're furious and think he's taking advantage of me. They believe he's using his wealth to manipulate me and control me, and they feel like I'm sacrificing my dignity and self-respect for money. My mom cried, saying she raised me to value myself more than this, and my sister called him a predator who's exploiting my past struggles. From my perspective, I've made a practical decision. I'm happy with the stability and comfort my marriage provides, and I don't see it as a loss of dignity. I chose to prioritize financial security for myself and my children. It's not like I'm being coerced and mistreated. My husband and I have an understanding, and it works for us. So, am I the a-hole for marrying a rich man and letting him do whatever he wants, including sleep with other women, because I refuse to go back to being poor and want to provide a better life for my kids?
So clearly her family isn't progressive, because that's just a polyamorous relationship.
Not it's open marriage. Polyamorous would mean that they were all like in like a throuple. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Dude,
A throuple and a polyamorous are 2 different things.
No, or I'm sorry, but polyamorous means that you bring in more partners, meaning that she would interact with the said partners. An open marriage...
I have watched a 150 episode show called The Poly Couple. And what it is that it's a relationship, but each person is allowed to have their own relationship. They can interact, but they don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking of. It says structure can be hierarchical or non-hierarchical, with partners often having equal roles, meaning that they both engage in said relationship with whatever party is brought in. Open marriage is when the 2 separate partners can have different relationships with different people. So say me and Kate were in a relationship. Jordan would be Kate's other partner. I had nothing to do with him.
Would be the other partner.
No. Kate?
I'm cutting that out. I'm putting a blur over your face. She ain't gonna know what you did. But no, I think she's fine. I just think her family's not as progressively thinking as they should be.
Well, it's not only that, but like your daughter was well aware of what she was getting into. It's not like he lied to her. And the top comment had said, "This doesn't sound like infidelity since you knew about it." Infidelity would be him not being upfront about it, but he was.
Cheating.
Yeah. So, and honestly, like, it's not, if she's happy and she's fine with it, it's none of your family's business. And who are they to say, like, to quantify or, like, say how much self-worth and dignity that you have, you know? That's like people online that, like, well, this is a whole other discussion, but about, like, OnlyFans and stuff. Some people are like, where's your self-respect? Where's your dignity? Who are you to tell them what dignity they do and don't have?
There was this, Sophie Rain.
Yeah.
She's a very popular creator. Apparently, she hasn't slept with anybody, but she just posted this on Twitter. She has made $72 million dollars.
That's insane.
And like, I don't know what her OnlyFans looks like. I do not want to know what it looks like.
I don't think she even goes as far as most people do.
I don't think she shows anything. Like, I feel like it's just like risque pictures
and like TikTok dances and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, look, I don't want this to come out wrong. Not that like she's not beautiful, she is. I just don't understand what the obsession is about her. Like, have you seen her?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna come at her. Like, I'm not saying she's unattractive in any way. I'm just saying that she doesn't.
I don't even
me.
think it's her specifically. It's more of the fact of why do mainly men make the conscious choice to pay to see like pictures behind the paywall?
I mean, you see this online. It's like parasocial relationships, but like a next step up from that. Yeah. You then become like infatuated with this person and you want to see intimate parts of them. So
Obsessive.
yeah. And some guys become really obsessive and like create, like I said, that's why some women have been in danger in this sense, because these obsessions go too far and the guy actually fully believes that he's in like a sexual and intimate relationship with this person who she's not thinking that way. She's just thinking of the money.
The moolah.
The moolah.
That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Thinking of the money.
I know you would.
Psych. I love all of my fans.
But yeah, no, OP, not the a-hole at all. It's your decision, it's your life, you're happy and you're providing a life for your children, and that's all that matters. It's not your family's decision or business.
Alright, this was posted by Deleted. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex she wasn't worth changing for, but my wife was? Back in my 20s, I wasn't a good person. That's not to say I think I am now. Still have a lot of progress to do, but it's way better than back then. I was heavily depressed and mostly focused on alcohol and trying to ruin my life as much as I could. I was estranged from my family and I didn't see them as much as I really didn't like them. Them forgiving our abusive dad and enabling my mom was one of the key factors, and it's not like they cared anyway. I had an okay job, helped get by and survive. I started to love tattoos and started getting some, and through this, I met my ex, Brianna. She was your stereotypical cool girl, tatted all over, loud, messy. I was attracted towards her, and she was too, but I didn't want a serious relationship, and I told her this. She said she was fine and said she wasn't looking for marriage or anything like that. So we started dating. I won't lie, I didn't put, it says T-O-U-T, but I'm going to assume put, much effort into getting clean and sober, and she never complained about my drinking habits, so what was the point? When I was 24, I ended up taking her to meet my family, but there's no two, family, and we sort of started reconnecting, and plus she wanted to meet all my folks. During this, I noticed her getting really close to my brother Steven, and I thought nothing of it. Turns out I should have, because she confessed to having an affair with him about 7 months in the relationship. She said he made her feel wanted and couldn't be with an addict anymore. All that jazz. Frankly, I didn't care and just told her okay and left. I stopped talking to my family again since they supported them and I didn't want to see their faces. They got married. 2 years passed and I met my now wife, Soraya. She was beautiful inside and out despite going through a lot. Her ex was an abusive piece of crap. We met through mutual friends, and seeing someone that had overcome their problems and turned out for the better just made my heart soar. When I first asked her out, she was willing to date if I changed fully for her, and for her I did. Went to rehab and stopped drinking entirely. I basically changed my whole lifestyle, and with her by my side, it seemed easier. At 30, she agreed to date, and since we were already so close, things moved fast, and we got engaged soon and then married 2 years after. I reconnected with my grandma since she's dying, and the little boy in me still wants her, especially now. My sister hosted a dinner party where I was able to introduce Soraya to them properly, and it went amazingly. She and my grandma got along so well. I went out to take a cigarette and Brianna followed me. We didn't talk and I ignored her till she perked up saying, "Congratulations for overcoming my addiction." She didn't say it in a nice tone, but I wasn't up for fighting, so I said thanks. She kept bugging me and asking me if all the times she was there, why couldn't I change for her? I got a little annoyed after a while and just said she wasn't worth it. She got quiet and teared up before going inside. She and Steven left soon after. I told Soraya this and she said I wasn't in the wrong, but it still wouldn't hurt anyone if in Brianna's position. That's where I'm doubting if I'm wrong. Brianna or Steven haven't called, so I don't think she told him. Plus she's pregnant, so they probably think it's the hormones that made her cry. Am I the a-hole?
No. I mean, she cheated on you with your brother. And so she quite literally, it wasn't worth it. Like,
Yep.
And number two, didn't it say she didn't mind? Like, she didn't ask him to change. It's not like they had problems with it, presumably.
Yep. At no point did he mention, oh yeah, and then she asked me to change, but I said no.
Yeah, it's just more so that they were like, she was, comfortable and that, like, uncomfortable or kind of crappy relationship, it sounded like, based on, like, OP's position at the time and mental space.
And then she cheated, so she has no right to dictate
literally.
how he lived his life. So, OP, you're not the a-hole.
Not at all. I mean, you're being honest.
Yep.
She wasn't
You get
worth it.
the JJJR approval stamp.
Gold star.
All right, guys, this is the final story for the night. Make sure you're all cozied up and get those tissues ready, because not for this isn't going to be a sad story, but because you're going to miss us.
And it is short, sweet, and to the point.
Yes.
And this is posted by Hydrated Orb. Glad you're hydrated.
And an orb.
Am I the a-hole for punching my girlfriend after she hit me with a baseball bat?
Jesus Christ.
I, 23 male, am in a tough spot and need some outside opinions. My girlfriend, 22 female, and I had a heated argument the other night that escalated quickly. It started over something small but turned into a big fight, how it usually does. In the middle of it, she went to the garage, grabbed a baseball bat, and swung it at me. She hit me in the ribs with full force, which broke a rib, and it really hurt. Well, I can imagine. I was in shock and pain, and in the heat of the moment, I punched her in the face. I now realize that hitting her back was a huge mistake, but it happened so fast, and I was overwhelmed by the pain. The punch broke her nose, and I regret it deeply. After the incident, we both took some time to cool down and talk things through. She apologized for the bat, and I apologized for hitting her. Since then, some friends and family have cut me off entirely, while others are divided on whether I'm the a-hole. Some people say I had no right to hit her back, while others believe she crossed a major line with a bat. You think? We're both trying to work on our issues and improve our communication with counseling. So, am I the a-hole for punching my girlfriend after she hit me with a baseball bat? No.
That's self-defense right there.
No. Well, first of all, hold on. It literally said she went through like the whole process of stopping in the midst of an argument, going to the garage, grabbing a bat, and then continuing to hit you in the ribs with it.
That's domestic violence if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, yours was a complete like gut reaction, like of the other OPs, who the girl who pulled out the feeding tube, and you said you regret it.
Yeah, it'd be different. Okay, so in my mind, just looking at this from like a police report kind of way, like she aggressively attacked you and you were defending yourself. If she hadn't stopped with the baseball bat, then you could have kept going, but because it was 1-1, this is bringing me back to my childhood days with my siblings, but 1-1, y'all are done. You know, pretty even right there. Everybody doesn't win and everybody doesn't lose.
As far as the criminal justice system goes, I'm going to completely make something up right now. So if we're talking in terms of degrees, how they do in murder, hers was first degree and yours was like third. Hers, pre-planned, thought out, meditated. Yours, reaction in the moment, third degree.
Well, I don't know if it was pre-planned, but it took more effort to execute.
Okay, maybe second degree. Maybe it's second degree. It was still thought out in a way. In a quicker process, it was still premeditated. And this premeditated when she was walking to the garage.
But anyway, that's all we got for you guys. That's all.
Judge Jules, she goes to prison. Hold on, I'm going to read top comment real quick before we go. And next time she bounces the bat off your dome, come on, man, it's time to part ways. Agreed.
Yep. Who says next argument you're not dead?
No, for real.
Killer on the street. 10 toes down, standing on business.
Oh, God.
But anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Jules, any final words for the camera?
Thank you so much for joining us. We're always happy to have you
Whoa.
here in my humble abode.
Whoa.
My humble abode.
Any final words for the audience? You guys aren't just a camera. You're fans. You're our audience.
That's what I said. Thank you for joining us in my humble abode. How more personal can I get?
I've been Jordan.
I've been Jules.
Like, comment, subscribe. And this has been
Just Reddit. 10 toes down, standing on business.
You want me to keep that in there, don't you?
I do.